Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Tati. While everybody was watching Payback, your girl was watching Collision. Now, I did want to watch both, but there's just no way. I just cannot focus on watching two different things at the same time. And another reason why I don't think that would have been possible is because with this episode of Collision, there was a lot to take in, a little bit more than usual because the pay-per-view is tomorrow night. They were just pushing a lot of promos and in between these matches, and it was just like, whoa, I'm trying to take notes. I cannot stop and write what's going on because it's just so much. I didn't feel too overwhelmed like how we did with the Dynamite before All In, but it still was a lot compared to what we normally get with Collision. Now, we do start off with Tony Khan, who's announcing the firing of CM Punk, and it was very, I'm disappointed about the whole thing. However, they did not have any audio from the crowd, so you could not hear the crowd reacting to what Tony Khan was saying. Now, after his announcements, we go with the whole intro and everything, and then we're back to Tony Schiavone, who's in the ring to do an interview with Ricky Starks. Here we have you see the audience and they don't look happy. They really don't look happy. Rather than everyone is just cheering and smiling and having a good time, it kind of put a damper on the audience. So that was very visible to see, even though you could not hear them initially reacting to what Tony Khan said. Now, the first segment was absolutely beautiful. We do have Tony Schiavone, who's questioning Ricky Starks and what he did to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat when he was hitting him with the belt. Now, he cuts a really great promo. And not only does he cut a great promo, he also puts over Big Bill, who is ringside, and talking about how, he's going to make it. He's going to be one of these top guys, and he deserves it, especially after overcoming addiction. And he's here doing the best that he can in AEW. All that was so beautiful. You almost forget that he is a heel. That's how well this promo went, and the crowd was feeling it too. You got Big Bill chants, you got everybody chanting for Ricky Starks, and you just forget for a moment that he is challenging a 70-year-old man to a strap match at All Out. So now, after that promo, we do have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who comes out, and he is like, I'm taking it old school. We are signing a contract right here. Your name, my name, blah, 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 blah. So then he opens up the contract, and it says Ricky Starks versus the Dragon, and Ricky had no problem snatching that contract, and he signed it. So then he's like, Ricky Steamboat's like, well, everybody know me by the Dragon, but they also know someone else by the Dragon too. And oh my God, here comes Bryan Danielson coming out. Bryan comes in the ring and says the contract says the Dragon, which he is. He signs the contract, and Ricky has the most dumbfounded face. Like, he is shocked, absolutely shocked to see Bryan Danielson coming back from his injury. And now he has to have this no disqualification scrap match with Bryan Danielson at All Out tomorrow night. I absolutely love how this whole segment went. It was perfect. Perfect way to start off the show. So one thing we had a lot of tonight was promos, especially because of All Out being tomorrow night. We get a Moxley promo, and that thing was like 3-4 minutes, way too long. And later on in the show, we do get a promo from Orange Cassidy. Honestly, both these promos were not needed. We have a very strong promo from Orange Cassidy from Rampage on Friday, and then Moxley had a promo too. I don't remember if it was Rampage or if it was Dynamite, but that was strong as well. So it was like, why do we have to get back to this? We could have had promos from someone else that's on the card. Absolutely not needed. Now, we do have trios titles on the line. The Acclaimed versus Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Daniel Garcia. This was a really great match. I really did enjoy that both teams had great chemistry, and we haven't seen Daniel, Matt, and Angelo on Collision at all. And that's another thing that I liked about this episode, was that we got a chance to see people we normally do not see on Collision on this episode. So it made it feel a little bit better that we had more people to be on the show. Now, while I did enjoy this match, something that I think was important to point out here is that there's been some kind of miscommunication with Daniel Garcia and his teammates. It seems like Daniel, he wants to do his own thing. He wants to have fun, but his teammates are looking at it as the trios are on the line. We can win this. we need to get serious, So that's one thing I noticed. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but on Dynamite, or was it Rampage, they had a promo. And during this promo, Daniel Garcia was saying that he feels like it's time for him to be a real wrestler. Now, he was about to say that. He didn't get to say the whole thing, but then he was interrupted by Matt Menard, who didn't want to hear it. They want to do whatever it is that they do, which is being sports entertainers or whatever. But it seems like Daniel Garcia wants to not necessarily break off from the group, but he wants to, take wrestling and in a different direction or whatever. Either way, the Acclaim does take the win. During this match, we do have interference from Jake Hager, which came from God knows where he came from, and he interferes, but it doesn't help them take the win. Either way, it was a great match here, and I don't know where they're going with this whole group. They're no longer a Jericho Appreciation Society. I don't know what they call themselves now, but I really do hope that Daniel Garcia does his own thing. He is way better than being part of the group. He's a phenomenal wrestler. Up next, we have an interview with the Dark Order with Lexi Nair. Now, this right here was strong for the Dark Order. I know a lot of people are not taking him seriously going into this pay-per-view, but I do think that they come off a little bit more convincing here. We do have Alex Reynolds, who talk about how he actually trained MJF at Creator Pro, and how he taught him that however he gets to the top, he can do whatever it takes for him to get there. And he said that he gave that advice to MJF, but didn't take it for himself. So now he's doing whatever it takes for him to get to the top, and he is ready to take the ROH tag titles. I really did like them here in this promo. However, I'm still not convinced that they're going to end up taking these. Now, up next, we do have Nick Wayne and Commander as partners versus Aussie Open. This was a very good match, probably the second best match on this card. I really did enjoy Nick Wayne here. He's definitely becoming more and more comfortable in the ring. And funny enough, Kevin Kelly dare say on commentary that Nick Wayne is like Will Ospreay. And I'm just like, Will Ospreay who? Not my Will Ospreay y'all talking about. I don't see it at all. Matter of fact, Nick Wayne has not even been wrestling that long for anyone to be comparing him to Will Ospreay. That comment just put things off for me. Now, while I did enjoy this, the reason why definitely they could not take the win is obviously because this is his first time tagging with Commander. I don't know if they couldn't get El Hijo de Vikingo because they really had great chemistry last night on Rampage, but it just seems like they're just going to be putting him in tag matches to help him get experience, and that's okay. We do have Aussie Open, obviously, with all the tag team experience. They end up taking the win, and Nick Wayne is all beat up in the ring, and Tony Schiavone is just putting that microphone all up in his face, and I'm just like, he does this all the time. When people are just too winded to even talk, he wants to come out with the microphone. Now, Nick Wayne is talking about he doesn't know why Darby wants him to be friends with AR Fox or whatever. And I'm like, bro, this is not even important. Who gives a fuck? You don't even have to forgive him. So then Darby Allin comes out, and oh my God, he has the mic. Darby Allin has a tendency to start off with something and just have this whole long ass story before he gets to the point. It kind of reminds me of Dax Harwood. They just have a whole damn book to read before they let you know what it is that they're out here for. Long story short, Darby Allin is saying he had issues with his dad, Nick's dad, before Nick's dad passed away. And he never got a chance to say he was sorry, never got a chance to patch things up before he passed away. And he doesn't want Nick to have that type of regret when it comes to AR Fox, that life is short. If there's a problem, squash it and move on. And here comes Father of the Year, Christian, who comes out. And this dude is absolutely insane. He goes, oh, I should have never been talking about your dad like that last week when I didn't even ask about what your mom's name was. And I was just like, holy shit. I thought he was going to try to come off a little sincere. But this dude is the best heel in professional wrestling right now. Everything he does is absolutely flawless. Now, they have a little bit of an exchange, and Nick Wayne is just absolutely a baby in this sport. So there's nothing he can say that can really compare to what Christian is saying. Now, Christian, he's not going against Darby for the TNT title. The actual TNT champion is going against Darby for the TNT title. Luchasaurus, I do believe Luchasaurus is going to end up retaining. And he was like, "Oh, Darby, stop pretending to be something you're not." And I was dying laughing because obviously he's parading around with a TNT title, pretending to be champion, and it's absolutely golden whatever he does on the mic. So I am looking forward to see what happens with Luchasaurus and Darby tomorrow. Darby does want Nick Wayne to be by his side during his match, and obviously Christian's going to be on the side of Luchasaurus. I do see Christian doing something to interfere to help Luchasaurus retain. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night with that. So now we have Wheeler Yuta and Claudio backstage. This was from Dynamite. Wheeler Yuta lost his match against Eddie Kingston, and Claudio was upset. So he gave him like 50 million uppercuts backstage, just beating the hell out of Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta is taking it, and he's like, Claudio's like, "You see, Eddie, Wheeler Yuta, he's getting beat up right now, and he's getting his ass up regardless." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to beat your ass at the pay-per-view, and you won't even be able to get up." And he was like, "I'm so disappointed. Whatever little respect I had for you, I had lost it when I saw you were in Japan, parading around like a schoolgirl, meeting your idols all over the damn country, instead of focusing on what matters the most, which is winning championships." Now, to be fair, he does win the openweight title for New Japan. So, and then he was also part of the G1 tournament as well. So it's not like he wasn't focused, but he definitely was not focused on the ROH title, which he's been trying to get ever since they restarted with Ring of Honor. So that was so interesting to see how Really, Yuta, he's definitely the runt of the group. They beat him up. They do all these things. They show him a lot of tough love. This is not the first time I've seen Claudio do something like this with Really Yuta. Really Yuta, he ain't going nowhere when it comes to BCC. He's the youngest. He's the one with the least experience. So they're definitely going to take advantage of this. So we do have an interview with Lexi, with Saraya and Ruby Soho, and Lexi is more concerned about their friendship with Toni Storm and, you know, how Saraya ended up winning, how that affected their friendship. And Saraya and Ruby are calling her a pot star and that she's a mean girl for asking questions like that. And they're like, Toni's okay, you know, she'll get over it. Except she's in the parking lot half naked, throwing her shoes at birds or whatever, having a mental breakdown. But Ruby, she's ready for Chris Statlander. She's ready to take the title, and that her and Saraya both are going to have titles in the group. And since there's no other women's title in AEW, Toni Storm isn't going to have one. So next we have one of the most cringiest segments I've ever seen. We had Dennis Rodman, who for whatever reason was invited onto the show. Tony Schiavone's with him in the ring. I don't even know where they were going with this. And then here comes Jeff Jarrett and friends. They come out and they're basically asking Dennis to join their group and saying that they're all alike. They even made a t-shirt with all of their faces on it and all that. Oh my God, this whole thing. I was just like, will somebody just end my misery now? It absolutely was a cringe fest. Long story short, since maybe you guys aren't watching this and you don't have to put your eyes on some stupid shit, they are setting up a trios match with the Acclaim and Jeff Jarrett, which would be Jeff and Jay and maybe Satnam. Oh yeah. Ugh. Anyway, that was the whole setup. It was just for that, and it's just so stupid. I know Tony Khan wants to feature celebrities and things like that. I get it, but come up with a way that's actually entertaining and not something that makes me want to pull my eyes out. It's definitely not worth the watch. So next we have a video promo from Shane Taylor. He's ready to snatch the ROH TV title from Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe does have his little promo too. To be honest, I like that it was featured on this show, but I think this ran a little too long. Now, next we do have the Outcast versus Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and what's her name? Chris Statlander. Look, I keep forgetting who she is because she's forgettable. Now, it's pretty much the Fatal 4-Way girls from the All In pay-per-view versus the women's TBS match, Chris and Ruby or whatever. The match is okay. One thing that kind of caught me off guard was after Britt makes her entrance, then Hikaru Shida makes her entrance, and Hikaru Shida gives Britt this look, like this disgusted look. I don't know what that was about, but it just took me by surprise. I don't know what's going on with them, but you can definitely see in Hikaru Shida's face that she just didn't look happy being next to Britt Baker. Anyway, the Outcasts, their outfits are absolutely me. Stuff that I would definitely wear. Oh my gosh. Wherever y'all shop, please take me. I need some new outfits. Now, the match is not all that. It is what it is. Obviously, they're putting a women's match on the show. I wish it was just a little bit more from this. Either way, the Outcast takes the win. Later on, we do have Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander backstage, and they're arguing, and they get the girls away from each other. I just want to see Ruby take the title. So up next, we have another promo, this time from Adam Cole, who's basically letting the Dark Order know that they are not taking the titles away from MJF and Cole, especially during their first title defense. Then he goes on to read some messages from MJF that are directed to the Dark Order. I don't even know what he said, but I was bored at this point. So now we have another match with Powerhouse Hobbs. And I'm like, okay, we get to see a little something from Hobbs before the pay-per-view. Wrong. So he gets into the ring and his opponent is already there. His opponent's name is GPA. Never heard of him. He literally had a 5-second match with this guy and won with a spine buster. That's pretty much the only move he did in that whole thing, and I couldn't believe it. Once again, they're doing stupid shit with Hobbs, and I do not appreciate it. Now, after Hobbs wins, here comes Miro coming out, and they're having a little bit of a brawl or whatever. No security comes out. Nobody comes out and break it up or whatever. But then here comes Hobbs, who goes out into the crowd and retreats and walks away. So we got a little bit of a tease of what's going to happen tomorrow night, but I absolutely cannot stand the way they are using Hobbs with this right here to put him in a freaking 5-second match. What the hell, AEW? First of all, we shouldn't even be doing this shit on Collision. This is stuff we do over there in AEW on Dynamite, not Collision. Alright, y'all, main event time. We had Jay White versus Dax Harwood. And once again, Collision gives us a nice, lengthy main event that you can enjoy. The thing that I was thinking about earlier was like, why is it that on Collision, they seem to be so much more strategic with how they are doing these main events. But then when it comes to Dynamite or especially Rampage, these main events feel random or they only 10 minutes or less or stuff like that. That doesn't make them feel important. On Collision, I have yet to see a bad main event. Everything makes sense and they're all bangers ever since the very first episode. And this right here was really, really great. A very intense match between Jay White and Dax. Now they had that amazing tag team match a few months ago. Well, not months ago, but maybe a month ago on Collision. So I was pretty sure that it was going to come back in the ring in the singles action and do a great job. We did have Bullet Club Gold, who are ringside, basically being cheerleaders. And then we have Dax, what's the other one name? Cash Wheeler, who is on the side of Dax. So it's basically a whole group versus just two people on the side. Now, I really did enjoy that they are continuing this story with Jay White and the Bullet Club, because I really do feel like they need this win at all out. And I really hope we get to see that, because they're really talented dudes. And I don't want to see FTR and the Young Bucks win every single time they come out in the ring. Now, we do not have any like physical like altercations with Bullet Club Gold with Dax or anything like that. So Yeah, they're there. They're being distracting, and they seem to be taunting Dax and Cash Wheeler as well. But I don't remember them seeing. I don't remember seeing them physically getting involved here. Now, Jay White does end up taking the win, which I was so happy with. So I do hope that despite him taking the win tonight, that they're also going to take the win tomorrow night. But Bullet Club Gold, they come in the ring and they attack Dax and Cash. So then we have the Young Bucks for the very first time, conveniently, when CM Punk is no longer part of the company, to actually come on to Collision, and they're there to help Dax and Cash Wheeler. After they help them out, is these two teams in the ring, and here comes the Young Bucks. They're putting their hands out to shake with FTR. FTR is like, no, bitch, we're not shaking hands, and they leave, which is the same thing that they did to them at All In last weekend. So basically, they're giving them the same treatment they got at the pay-per-view. Either way, this was a really great show. I really did enjoy Collision. Collision is just something about it is just so much more enjoyable compared to Dynamite and Rampage. So if you did not get to see it because you're watching Payback or you're busy or whatever, go ahead and check it out. I do think that there was a little bit too much promos on here. It made the show feel a little bit bloated compared to other episodes. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow with the review of All Out.